Stugas is a Cooking for Grown-Ups. Welcome back, everyone, to Cooking for Grown-Ups. I'm Devin Niederhauser. You spoke, we listened. Today we're making marinara, and to go with it, we're going to make some meatballs too. Let's go. Real quick, I just want to dedicate this video to my dear old Nan. She's so sweet. I love her. To start, we got about 2 pounds of Roma tomatoes here. We're going to take every one of them, and we're just going to cut a little X at the bottom. So after you cut all your X's in these tomatoes, we're going to drop them into a pot of boiling water. You'll need to put them in there for about 10 to 15 seconds. And what we're doing is we're applying heat. So just the very outside of it's going to cook. And the reason we cut those X's is it's going to release those skins. We'll be able to peel all the skin off really easily after this. So now we can kind of see these skins are starting to release here. We're going to drop them into an ice bath. Once those are properly cooled, you see skins just start falling off. So we're going to go ahead and peel all of our Romas here. So you'll notice I'm using the strainer here over a mixing bowl. Reason being, as we're working with these tomatoes, we're going to go ahead, cut in half, de-stem, de-seed. We're going to do all that over our strainer because we want to try to reserve as much tomato juice as possible. So we've removed all of our seeds and stems, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get a spoon. I'm going to push all this into that strainer because you can see there's a lot of liquid left in there, so I'm going to try to get as much of that out as possible. See, just for those seeds and the insides, we've got all this liquid. You see that right there? That's like your mom after watching my cooking videos. In the French cooking world, this is called tomato concassé. You don't have to get definite cuts on this. We're just kind of chopping. We're going to cook these down and we'll puree them later. So uniformity doesn't matter as much here. Onions and garlic in the pot with olive oil. I'm cooking this on a medium low. Normally we just sweat it out like this, but the way we get around using sugar in our sauce is we just let these onions cook down, stirring pretty often. And what we're going to do is we're going to caramelize those onions, let them start turning brown and bring out the sweetness of those. Onions and garlic nice and caramelized. I'm going to add a spoonful of tomato paste. Get that nice and mixed in. We're going to add lots of fresh chopped oregano and some basil. Just introduce them to the heat enough to get them aromatic. And then we're going to add the tomatoes. And our juice that we saved. Bring that up to a simmer. We're going to let it go for about an hour. Just make sure you're stirring it pretty regularly so you don't burn your bottom. While that's simmering, we're going to get our meatballs started. So I got a pound of ground pork, pound of ground beef, got parsley, fresh chopped oregano, and some basil. I have 2 eggs. Good rule of thumb, 1 egg per pound of meat. I'm going to add some milk And then I'm gonna add some shredded Parmesan. And we're just gonna get balls deep in this meat. Lastly, some salt and pepper. And then maybe just a little extra cheese because I'm a naughty little boy. Now we just need to turn this big meatball into a bunch of smaller ones. Hot pan, olive oil. Start throwing in some balls. I did a large batch of the majority of the meatballs. I did a really hard sear on all sides on those to get them cooked all the way through. Those are going to be good to put in the freezer, use them for subs or anything else in the future. For tonight, it's just me and my wife eating, so I'm just making 6 meatballs. I'm going to get a lighter sear on just a couple sides of this. We're going to finish it in sauce. Our sauce is nice and reduced. You can serve it like this if you prefer it chunky. I like mine a little bit finer. So what we're going to do is use our immersion hand blender again, and we're just going to start pureeing. So what I did is I pulled my meatballs off after I got the sear that I liked on them and drained the oil and all the fat from the meat. And so I'm going to add them back into my pan here. I've got my sauce pureed. We're going to pour that in there.
Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Countdown, levitate. Going up, elevate. Watch me demonstrate. On time, never late. I grind, celebrate. No pump, fake, hesitate. I've been scoring every day. Champagne Perrier. Since 9-3, been in the box, now stepping up to home. Like straight out the sandlot.
Now you can cook your own homemade marinara and meatballs. This is Cooking for Grown-Ups. I'm Devin Niederhauser. Thanks for joining. Make sure you like and subscribe. Fill up the comment section below with what you want to learn how to cook next.
I'm shooting for the stars.